Yes, sir. Actually, I was a little delayed in joining, sir. Could you please give me a little brief of what you have discussed till now?
Right. Yes. No worries for joining late, but we have just begun with the training session and the procedural matters of it. And I will just mention delegates that how will we be proceeding with the UN USA RPs, which we will be following here, right? I was just explaining to them about the roll call which happens, right? That's all that has been done.
Okay, sir. So after the roll call, you'll be going on with all the procedures, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries, delegate. Right. To proceed with, you have the GSLs. So in a GSL, for example, a GSL is of 90 seconds and delegate has 20 seconds left on the clock. So what happens is that delegate have an option of yielding to 3 points. So first of all, if you have to yield, you can either yield to the executive board or yield to the point of information or yield to another delegate. So if you are yielding to the executive board, then that very time will be utilized by the executive board for their own purpose or for facilitating the other matters and procedural matters of the committee. To yield to point of information, other delegates can ask you questions. And if you are yielding to another delegate, the delegate will build upon and continue with the speech, right? If you are yielding to a delegate, you both should be in consensus too that the other delegate will be surely speaking. You can't just randomly point out to an delegate which you want to speak, which you just point out and who will be speaking. That will not be the case in this committee, right? And with that being said, I will just recommend you all to opt for point of information because that will give you marking at the end of the day. And in that you coming on to next about what are the points in this committee which we would be maintaining. So there are four name points which we would be having here is that four name points are point of information, point of order, point of parliamentary inquiry, and point of personal privilege. So I proceed on with the point of information. In the point of information is that if you want to, I just explained that it is just like if you want to ask a question to a delegate and if there is time remaining, you may use the time for point of information. And in that very same regard, a point of parliamentary inquiry is about that if you want to know any procedural related doubt, to have a procedural related doubt, then you may opt for a point to parliamentary inquiry. And a point of personal privilege is like, for example, a delegate of Tunisia is not audible. Then you may raise a point of personal privilege and may ask the delegate and may tell the executive board that the delegate of Tunisia is not audible, and we will convey this further. So one thing to remember out is that no point can interrupt a speaker. Only the point of personal privilege can interrupt the speaker. Now coming on to the last point, we have point of order. So point of order is upon the procedure errors which the executive board will be making. In usual MUMs, there's one other point of order which is usually followed, which is upon factual inaccuracies. So I leave it open to you guys if you want to have point of orders on factual inaccuracies, then you may have it. If you do not want to have point of orders on factual inaccuracies, then we may not have it as a UNSC, right? That's what the point was about. And now coming on to second about this concept I want to explain about the moderated caucus. So in a moderated caucus, what exactly a moderated caucus is? It's just a subtopic. Is a subtopic of what the exact agenda is. So let's imagine and take an example of a of a pizza. Right? See, so if we a pizza is a imagine an analogy. Let's make an analogy and a pizza is a whole agenda, right? And if you take out a slice from it, a subtopic. So six slices make subtopics, right? So that's how you get it. A subtopic is just a very essential part of an agenda which you wish to discuss, right? And a moderate caucus can either be of 60 seconds, 90 seconds, or 1 point second. and maximum total time being 20 minutes. And if you want an extension to that, you may raise an extension which is the half total time of what was raised initially, right? And in that loop, what I just want you to remember is the format of raising a point or motion of moderate caucus is that in the motion of moderate caucus, you have to say the delegate so and so country would like to raise a moderated caucus on a so and so topic for total time so and so and individual speakers time so and so. So in a so and so or so called blank, you have to fill in what the details of this specific moderate caucus would be, right? In that I'll proceed and further. Just to point to mention out is that there are no any specific points in the point of order and all points are suspended. But just as for us to felicitate debate, I'm seeing a scenario of the number of delegates at that time. We'll see as to if we want to have questions for moderate caucus or not, right? And just to mention one other thing is that all point of orders on factual inaccuracies which you guys were discussing and keeping will be went will not be verbal and would be written in nature. Okay, and with that being said, I proceed on further to unmoderate caucus. So an unmoderate caucus is a specific time allotted to you guys where you can discuss about what will further course of debate, right? In that very regard, in that very regard, us an executive board, we being executive board, won't really intervene into the unmodded caucus because that is not acceptable by the UN University first place. So with that being said, the motion for raising an unmodded caucus is as similar to a moderate caucus. It just don't have a topic to it, right? And what all you need to remember is that in an unmodded caucus, you may raise points and in a physical conference delegate to stand over each other, stand over tables and shout at top of their pitches. But what all you need to recognize is that you also need to maintain diplomatic courtesy while while dealing with an unmoderate caucus, right? And that's all from my side. And about the end document, which is very essential. So about the end document, I won't really comment right now because it's up to the guys to either have a draft resolution or either have a committee report. I would be preferably looking forward for an end document on day two, and you may decide amongst yourself to what an end document would be. Right, that's also a procedure from my side. And if you guys have any doubt, you may raise that right now. Right, okay, I see your hand raised. You may please proceed.
So I have a couple of questions. Should I say all of them together or one by one?
You can go one by one.
All right, sir. So, firstly, sir, I was wondering that since we just have one group, are we allowed to lobby before the committee? And also, will there be POI chits? And if yes, what group will be used to send the POI chits?
Right. That's a quite good question, and I completely forgot to mention about the chits. For to all delegates to note down, one point is about that you guys have only one lobbying group until now, and you would be sending PY chits on the lobbying group, which is currently made on the lobbying group itself, and about the PY chits, in the special committee, I would be dealing with two types of chits, one being the substantive chits and another one being procedural chits or PY chits, right? So the substantive, I have a specific criteria or marking the substantive chit as person and acceptance substantive chit is that substantive chit should be related to the topic, and if you haven't gotten a chance to speak in a specific motion or topic, then only substantive chit will be accepted. Otherwise, there will be no substantive chits, and I want you all to debate on a verbatim, right? So that's about chits. You can hope that this doubt was clear.
Yeah, and sir, regarding lobbying before the committee?
Right. So you all may lobby before the committee, and it's like a very quite a professional way to lobby for the committee and come prepared beforehand. But I or either of my executive board won't really be marking the lobbying done in the lobbying group. We would only marking the lobbying which will be done in the room meetings or the conference itself, right?
Okay. Okay, sir. Understood. So may I ask my next question?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So you said points of order will be written. So firstly, will the points of order be written? The written points of order be only for moderated caucuses or for all across the committee? And secondly, would you be ruling upon them in the committee or through a written format only?
Right. So about the point of orders, see, a point first of all, the point of orders, if they are on factual inaccuracies, then you all have to be consensus towards if point of orders are to be kept for factual inaccuracies. If there is even one inconsistency to not keep point of orders on factual inaccuracies, I won't keep point of order on factual inaccuracies. I work in a very consensus based manner and I wish to work the same. And about that, and if we have a point of order on factual inaccuracies, then we would be having throughout the conference and throughout the moderate and unmoderated caucus through a written form, and most of the point of orders will be ruled upon at the end of the day, like at the end of day one. And on day two, most of point of orders will be ruled and marked upon before the declaration of awards.
Okay, sir. Okay, understood. And so finally, you talked about one document towards the end of day two. Would you also be accepting individual documents like working papers, press releases, or presidential statements?
Right, see. So about the working paper, first of all, working paper is no formal document to be discussed and deliberated upon. It's just a essential part of the draft review, right?
So you know,
And very sorry. There was a disruption at my end. Very sorry for this. And now coming on the presidential statement. Presidential statement is only Presidential statement is only used in if you want to change a foreign policy. So if you have a valid reason to change a foreign policy, then a presidential statement would be accepted. And about a press release, see, I won't really be looking forward to for a press release, but I would really be looking forward for a individual document if you are sending one in the form of an analysis paper. If you can't send an analysis paper, so that will really very well marked by me.
oh, okay, sir. Sir, so in some MUN conferences, presidential statements are also given if you just want to talk about the agenda from your foreign policy perspective, or maybe introduce a new action that your country is taking towards contributing to the agenda. So in such cases, would you be open to the same, or only if in case we have a policy that is against our foreign policy that we want to talk about?
Right. So in this specific committee, I won't be really looking forward to such presidential statements. I would only be looking forward to presidential statements made in the lieu to change the foreign policy and about making a new action and introducing a new topic related and linking it to the very subtopic or the agenda in the first place. You can do that in your speeches, and I will be marking that as under the guidance to debate.
Understood, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Right. Are you done with all the doubts?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, nice.
Thank you.
So that's all about the procedural aspect of it. If anyone of you have any doubts right now, please ask about the procedure. Uh, so I see no hand raised until now. So I'll proceed on with the second point, which is very essential for me to deliver to tell you all about is that about the marking scheme which I would be following. So first of all, my first basic motive of coming into the conference and what I really expect from you in the committee is that first of all the debate should be active. Point two, the debate should be felicitating. And point three, if you are making a speech, remember to take in one point at a time and explain that thoroughly. Do not take in 6 to 7 points which you won't be able to explain. much wisely. Just make your point and prioritize your point wisely, right? And with that being said, my marking scheme is pretty simple. It is based upon three to four principles. One being research, second one being analysis, third one being relevance, and fourth one being foreign policy, and fifth one being the guidance to debate. This is about your verbatim, and the same applies for the chits, right? I would not be keeping any cap to POI chits which you would be sending in this very specific committee, right? Any doubts to the marking scheme or anything? Great, right, Kingdom. Please
Wait,
proceed.
so this will be just like a normal MA, right? There won't be any other papers or anything we have to submit.
Papers are in delegate.
We won't have to. We don't have to submit position papers or anything during committee, right?
No delegate, that really won't be needed, but I would be preferably looking forward to some analysis paper if you have some. Like example, analysis paper is like just like analyzing a situation in a very specific country or a topic which you think is of very essentiality. I was sending an example of an analysis paper which I made when I was delegating at some point of time. Right. So you have some doubt, please go proceed. Yuki, you aren't audible.
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry, I didn't know you were addressing me. Okay, so I actually had one more doubt. So you said that POI chits have no cap, and they will be sent on the WhatsApp group, on that same lobbying WhatsApp group. So, sir, aren't all committee delegates on that group, and wouldn't it clash with their chits?
No delegate, I don't really feel that they would be clashing with those chits. And basically, I didn't really get your point, what you were trying to imbibe. Please, can you please just be a bit more like, specific in something?
Yes, sir. The one lobbying group that we have, the delegates of all the committees are there on that group, right? So when we send our chits during our committee time, won't our chits clash with their chits?
Oh, I thought that group is only for UNSC delegates. I'll just confirm a secretary to make a new group or something, and you have to send the chits on only on the UNSC group. I'll ask the secretary to take note of making a specific group for UNSC so that
Yes.
your all the lobbying and everything does not go to waste by discussing in the main group. And you do not have to do any lobbying in the main group right now. Only you do have to do lobbying in the UNSC specific group. I'll talk to
Exactly.
secretary about it.
Right, exactly, sir. Also, sir, one last question. Sorry to bother you. So, if on the day of the committee we have lesser number of delegates, can we have POIs in the mods also?
Right, I would be favorably looking forward for it.
Right, sir. So you will be accepting it, like if to make the debate more interactive.
Right, I would be.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No worries. If any delegate has any other doubts, you may please raise your hands. Otherwise, we'll just adjourn the session for today. Seeing none, it's all over from my side. And I hope that you will be researching very well for the upcoming conference. And I want to see all my delegates shining bright. Right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so